Quick lesson on human design. We're going to talk about the centers, what they're supposed to do, what types they're a part of, and how you can use them to make your life way fucking easier. So we're going to start with the most important one, manifestation. The reason manifestation is the most important because in human design, it's about manifesting your circuitry. Okay, it's not about law of attraction. It's about taking the channels and the natural things that you have going on, the things that are consistent in your chart, and manifesting them, making them real. The throat does that. It does that through actions and behaviors. Next, we have the pressure centers. The head up here is the pressure to think, and the root down here is the pressure to do. So these provide a pressurization, taking ideas, moving them through the ajna into the throat, and the root using stress and adrenalized pressure to move energy through the centers again towards the throat. Then we have the awareness centers. We got the spleen, the ajna, and the solar plexus. Here we have awareness of our own health and vitality. We have awareness of ideas and answers, conceptualizations, and then we have awareness of emotions, feelings, spiritual and relational connections. Now, this is a good opportunity to point out that I'm using a transit composite. So this is my chart, and this is the transits, which you can see them in gold. I'm in green. Now, certain things are lit up for me that are not normally lit up. This doesn't change my strategy and authority, but it does change the circuitry that I have access to, which for me on this date, which was November 11th, I have the active solar plexus. So my emotions are going to be something I'm going to be feeling a little bit more heavily, especially because I have an undefined solar plexus normally. Great, and now let's get back on this train. So these are awareness centers, okay? They give us a sense of awareness of, if they're defined, they give us an awareness of our own feelings of survival, our own emotions, our own ideas, or if they're undefined, they're giving us awareness of, again, stuff that's outside of ourselves. Next, we have the motor centers. Solar plexus is also a motor. This is the only awareness/motor center in the human design body graph, which means that it provides emotional energy, typically to confront the truth or to transform an emotion, to transmute and to alchemize emotion. Then we have the root, which is a pressure center as well as a motor center. This is the energy to move forward. We have the sacral, which the sacral is the sexual creative life force. This is the energy to build something that's worthwhile. And then we have the ego or the heart. The heart is the energy to persevere when things get challenging. It's the will to prove yourself. And then last but certainly not least, we have the magnetic monopole, the G center. This is where love and identity come from. So this is the thing that holds it all together. This is where the identity sits. Now, this can be kind of challenging for some people, especially people with the undefined G center, because answering the question, who am I? That's never really been a natural thing if you've had an undefined G. And so when it comes to feeling like you're enough, sometimes that can be confusing. Now, understanding the function of what each of these centers do is going to be a matter of observation. You taking this information out into the world, maybe you have an undefined route like I do, and maybe the transit is defining it, or maybe somebody else is defining it. And you walking around knowing, okay, so my route is supposed to tell me about the pressure of the people around me. And you start to feel into who's got the heaviest root pressure, who's like really in a rush to get somewhere, who really doesn't know what timeline they're on. They probably have an undefined route as well. And kind of being like a Pokemon hunter and just cataloging this in your memory the same way that you would track, like, oh, okay, who treats themselves well and respects themselves, who spends their time doing things that are fulfilling, and who is like just chasing the money, for some examples of observations that we naturally make. And human design is just giving us like little categories, little frameworks, so that we can be more organized with our observations, so that we can identify more of the patterns that are possibly detrimental to our lives or conditioning from the past, and we can actually take steps towards living our own goddamn lives. If you want to know more about yourself, you can generate a body graph on my website. Just click my face. Link is in the bio. For anyone that buys one of my reports, it's only $20. It's going to tell you all about your gates and channels and authorities and profiles and digestion and environment and all of the stuff you need to know as a human Pokemon. It'll tell you about. As an added bonus, for anybody that buys one of my $20 reports, you're going to get entered into a raffle. The prize is a one-on-one session with me, and all you got to do is buy a $20 report. With all that being said, don't forget to follow, like, and share this with someone who gives a fuck.